Hello, Shining Star students and families. This is going to be a tutorial on how to make a little dragon. You can see that this dragon has some nice embroidery on it. You're welcome to do that. This dragon also has some beads down the back. Unfortunately, I didn't have beads or bead needles to send home with you, so you don't need to do that, but if you happen to have beads and a bead needle at home, you may certainly do that. So we're going to start today by cutting out, well, let's take a look at what's in your bag. So here's our dragon bag kit. Inside you should have a pattern, 2 pieces of wool felt. One's going to be bigger and one's going to be smaller. There will be some stuffing and there'll be some embroidery floss. And hopefully if you needed a needle, you got one. If you didn't, please email me. Okay, so we're going to start by cutting out your pattern. Go ahead and pause this video and cut out your pattern. Once your pattern's cut out, you will pin your pattern pieces onto your felt. The dragon body is going to be on your larger piece of felt. You'll need 2 of them, so cut out 2. Be really careful about how you set your piece on your felt because you want to have enough. So there should be enough room to put this piece across this way. So his nose is here and his tail is here. And that should give you plenty of room to put one piece here and cut it out. And then you're going to unpin the pattern and put it again here and cut out a second one. And you should have some pieces left over. Save those. This belly piece here will be cut out of your smaller piece of wool felt. You might want to do it at the end because you're going to use a little bit more of this as well. So you can see that it should fit there at the end. You'll probably want a pin or you'll want to use your needle to pin your pattern pieces down to your felt so that it doesn't slip, so that you can get a nice shape. You want to get as close as you can to this pattern shape when you're cutting it out. Okay, so you can pause the video here and cut out your pattern pieces. 2 body pieces, 1 belly piece. Once you have your pieces cut out, they're going to look like this. You can thread your needle. And remember, I like to thread my needle and leave a little tail hanging here. And then I'm going to knot the end here. We're going to hide this knot on the inside, so it's okay if it's kind of an ugly knot. My favorite way to tie a knot for the inside of a piece is something I like to call the ugly hairy spider knot. And so I'm going to lick this finger, and then I'm going to wrap my thread around it 2 or 3 times, and I'm going to use my thumb to push the thread off the end of my finger, and it's going to roll when I push it off. And then I can pull it tight, and I've got that big hairy spider knot. Let's see. Lost my scissors. Hold on a second. I'll show it one more time in case it was too hard to see. So I'm going to wrap 2 or 3 times and then push off the end of my finger and pull it. And that should stay quite nicely on the inside of your piece. It won't pull through. If it's hard to sew, actually, you know what? With your thicker, this thread is a little thinner, but I think with this thread, it's going to be hard to tie a knot and get it through your wool still. So try, you might get practice with threading your needle because I want you to try to keep it from coming unthreaded while you're sewing, but still leave that tail. Okay, so we're going to start by sewing, let's see, let's start back here. We're going to leave some space at the end of the legs. So I'm actually going to start at the base of the tail, and we're going to do blanket stitch. I'm going to remember to put I'm going to come from the inside so that I can hide my big hairy knot. You might need to tuck it inside there. And then we're going to do blanket stitch. So if you'll remember, blanket stitch, I like to come from the bottom. And you're going to pull, pull, pull until you don't have any twists in your thread. This one's not cooperating. There we go. And then you're going to dive back down through the loop. Let's do that again. So you can see my pieces are nice and lined up. You can pin it if you need to. But we're going to do another blanket stitch. If you do want to do your embroidery, if you're going to do some embroidery like this nice one has here, you want to do your embroidery before you sew it together. I'm sorry, I should have said that before. So go ahead and do your embroidery, and then you're going to do this part where you sew it together with your stitches. All right, I'll see you in the next video. Right now you're going to sew from here with blanket stitch all the way up and around under the chin and to about here. And then you're going to come back in the next video and we'll add the belly piece.